Will the House please come to order and members kindly take their seats? Good morning. The devotional today will be led by Representative Kathleen James of Manchester.
Good morning. This is a poem by Amanda Gorman, the first Youth Poet Laureate of the United States. And I'm reading it today for my daughters and for our dear friend, the artist Pat Musick. Our Purpose in Poetry, or Earthrise. On Christmas Eve, 1968, astronaut Bill Anders snapped a photo of the Earth as Apollo 8 orbited the moon. Those three guys were surprised to see from their eyes our planet looked like an Earthrise. A blue orb hovering over the moon's gray horizon with deep oceans and silver skies. It was our world's first glance at itself, our first chance to see a shared reality, a declared stance, and a commonality. A glimpse into our planet's mirror, and as threats drew nearer, our own urgency became clearer. As we realized that we hold nothing dearer than this floating body we all call home. We've known that we're caught in the throes of climactic changes. Some say will just go away, while some simply pray to survive another day. For it is the obscure, the oppressed, the poor, who, when the disaster is declared done, still suffer more than anyone. Climate change is the single greatest challenge of our time. Of this, you're certainly aware. It's saddening, but I cannot spare you from knowing an inconvenient fact, because it's getting the facts straight that gets us to act and not to wait. So I tell you this not to scare you, but to prepare you, to dare you to dream a different reality, where despite disparities, we all care to protect this world, this riddled blue marble, this little true marvel, to muster the verve and the nerve to see how we can serve our planet. You don't need to be a politician to make it your mission to conserve, to protect, to preserve that one and only home that is ours, to use your unique power to give next generations the planet they deserve. We are demonstrating, creating, advocating. We heed this inconvenient truth because we need to be anything but lenient with the future of our youth. And while this is a training in sustaining the future of our planet, there is no rehearsal. The time is now, now, now. Because the reversal of harm and protection of a future so universal should be anything but controversial. So Earth, pale blue dot, we will fail you not. Just as we chose to go to the moon, we know it's never too soon to choose hope. We choose to do more than hope with climate change. We choose to end it. We refuse to lose. Together we do this and more, not because it's very easy or nice, but because it is necessary. Because with every dawn, we carry the weight of the fate of this celestial body orbiting a star. And as heavy as that weight sounded, it doesn't hold us down, but it keeps us grounded, steady, ready, because an environmental movement of this size is simply another form of an Earthrise. To see it, close your eyes. Visualize that all of us leaders in this room and outside of these walls or in the halls, all of us change makers, are in a spacecraft floating like a silver raft in space, and we see the face of our planet anew. We relish the view. We witness its round green and brilliant blue. which inspires us to ask deeply, wholly, what can we do? Open your eyes. Know that the future of this wise planet lies right in sight, right in all of us. Trust this earth uprising. All of us bring light to exciting solutions never tried before. For it is our hope that implores us at our uncompromising core to keep rising up for an earth more than worth fighting for.
Will you please rise as Paige Maeve Wallstrom of Voidingham leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Members, we have a bill on the notice calendar requiring referral to a money committee pursuant to House Rule 35A. Senate Bill 190 is an act relating to the Green Mountain Care Board reference-based pricing and studying the creation of a public employee health benefit authority affecting the revenue of the state. The bill is referred to the Committee on Ways and Means. Are there any announcements? Member from Putney.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today is a special day outside on the lawn, and everyone is invited. Today outside, starting at noon, the Vermont Abenaki Arts and Cultural Celebration will be happening. We are all invited to go out, meet some of the 4 tribes of the Abenaki in Vermont, and experience what they want to share with us today. That starts at noon, goes till 3.
Are there any further announcements? Member from Rutland City.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to introduce an old friend to the chamber again. Paul Clifford is back with us and sits in the gallery over there. Currently, he's the alderman at Rutland City and, of course, a past member of the House. Please help welcome him back to the House that he knows.
Will the former member please rise and be recognized? Member from Berkshire.
The Rural Caucus will meet tomorrow at 8 a.m. in Room 10 and on Zoom for a caucus discussion facilitated by the Vermont Council on Rural Development. All are welcome.
Member from Burlington.
Friendly reminder that there's a diaper drive supporting Vermont military families through the Vermont National Guard Family Readiness Program. There's going to be a box outside of the Sergeant at Arms office tomorrow. They're looking for newborn to size 4, diaper sizes in particular, and baby wipes. So hope to see y'all there tomorrow.
Are there any further announcements? Member from Fairfax, Fairfield.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The end of the session, stressful time. I can't help you with that, but as always, I have brought in goodies from the trade show I go to each year. So in the 3 hallway, where the copier machine is, help yourself.
Are there any further announcements? Member from Woodstock.
Madam Speaker, I had always hoped that when the 8th grade class from Woodstock Union Middle School comes into the building that I'd have an opportunity to introduce them. They're not in the chamber right now, but they are walking around the building. So if members have an opportunity to say hello to a group of 8th graders walking around, taking in the sights of our Capitol, please grant them and wish them a happy and hearty hello.
Are there any further announcements? Member from Lowell.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I move that the Committee on Environment be relieved of House Bill 70, which is an act relating to the inclusion of use value appraisal land in the conserved land inventory, and the same be placed on the calendar for notice pursuant to House Rule 51. Madam Speaker, the reason for this motion is that H70 was introduced on January 23rd of 2025 last year, early on in this biennium, with now over 950 bills introduced. In 2025, H70 was a high priority for the Rural Caucus and others, and a letter requesting consideration by the Committee of Jurisdiction was sent to you by some members of the Rural Caucus. Other requests were made by myself, and not until the week before crossover of this year did the committee hear testimony. No vote was taken in the Environment Committee on that day. This process, by approving the Rule 51, will allow all members to consider and vote on H70. And Madam Speaker, when the vote is taken, I would request that it be taken by roll.
The member from Lowell requests that when the vote is taken, it be taken by roll. The member is sustained. The member is sustained. When the vote is taken, it will be taken by roll. The question is, shall the Committee on Environment be relieved of further consideration of House Bill 70 and that the same be placed on the calendar for notice pursuant to House Rule 51? Are you ready for the question? Member from West Rutland.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Woody Guthrie's song, "This Land is Your Land," also says in it, "This land is my land. This land was made for you and me." And
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Member from Burlington, what is your point of order?
The debate must be limited to why the committee should be relieved of the bill, but may not go into the merits of the bill.
Member from, can I see members at the podium, please, the House of Sandities? Will the House please come to order and members kindly take their seats? Member from Burlington, I find your point of order well taken. The motion at hand is only debatable on the process, not about the underlying bill. Member from West Rutland, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I received an email recently from a member that was addressed to the entire House chamber regarding Act 59, current use. There is no bill on our notice calendar regarding this topic. There is a bill, H70, that has been on the wall in the House Environmental Committee since early last year that does address exactly this topic. Yet, without being on the notice calendar, the email I received discussed at length the merits of H70 bill before it was even called up to the floor. Clearly, there's therefore a desire from members of this chamber to discuss the merits of this bill with all House members. A vote not to call up after this open invitation for debate on this exact topic would be counter to the questions and answers presented in the email. Madam Speaker, I urge the body to vote yes to call up this bill for action.
Member from Springfield.
Madam Speaker, I rise in opposition to this motion, and I will be voting no. In my time here, I have seen this motion less than 5 times. This is unprecedented. Madam Speaker, our structure here is designed for the committee process. And we all respect this body, and I respect this body, and I respect our committees. I am chair of a committee, and I feel quite strongly that the work begins in the committee. We pride ourselves on the work we do here. If we go down this road of pulling bills out of committee, it is very disheartening to me. And I fear for the future of this General Assembly and this institution that we all value and ran for. If we continue to do this in pulling bills out of committee, and this becomes the accepted practices and the norm, we will have destroyed this valuable General Assembly here in Vermont. Madam Speaker, I value the work we do. I value this institution and this General Assembly and each and every person here that is an elected official. And I will vote no, and I ask you to join me in voting no.
Are you ready for the question? Member from Barrytown.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the member from Springfield. And she happens to be my committee chair, and the committee process in my committee is run with an excellence that shows the members 40+ years of service to this building. As you know, earlier in the session, I made a similar motion to call up H70. And at that time, the argument was made to respect the committee process, and I understand that was the right thing to do for this building, and in the interest of protecting the sanctity of this place, which I have a tremendous amount of respect for, I think, as you all know. However, as H70 evolved in its committee process, it became clear to me that the process that it went through in its committee was not the same kind of process that happens in my beloved Institutions and Corrections Committee, with my competent and capable chair from Springfield. And there's a reason that we have this rule in our House rules. And that is because sometimes it's been acknowledged that the process has hiccups, it has roadblocks, it has bumps. And today, we have the opportunity to show up in this building as Vermonters first, as representatives, as neighbors, as friends, and to show the Vermonters that are demanding that we take this issue up, that the legislature, in its capacity to do this, can be reflective of the people's wishes, what they need. This is a simple thing to do, and it's the right thing to do. And I hope you all can support me in showing up here as Vermonters and showing up for the Vermonters that you represent. Thank you.
Are you ready for the question? Member from St. Johnsbury.
Madam Speaker, this is a deliberative process. It's a slow process, frustratingly slow many times. I understand that frustration. I have a bill that I wish was being taken up, but looks like it's not going to survive this year. Something I've been working on for my 8 years here. But the normal process is, as has been already said, that bills go to committees. They're vetted in committee. Committees take testimony. They vote or not on a bill, whether to advance it. And then it comes to the floor. Like everyone here, I think I've received emails talking about the policy prescriptions or desires in H70. That's not what we're talking about here, but its relevance to the process is the emails seem to address the policy issues, and then we got another email saying, oh, no, they didn't. But guess what? I'm not on that committee, so I don't know. But that's what the committee is for. We live in a time of disregard for norms at the federal level, which is shocking to me and I think to many people. And I think there probably are reasons why sometimes you would want to pull a bill out of a committee to vote on it. Some sort of an emergency when there was obviously a policy that had wide consensus and needed to be advanced, and there was not time in a committee to do that. At the end of the session, something like that. There probably are reasons for having a rule like that. But this isn't one of those situations. So I guess I should have said at the beginning that I'm going to vote no on this. And I hope the body votes no as well. This is no way to legislate policy. So I ask the body to join me in voting no.
Are you ready for the question? Member from Chester.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will be voting yes. I find myself in the awkward position of having to choose between what is evidently an in-house faux pas and having to reply to rural constituents as to why we didn't discuss it at all. I will be voting yes. Thank you.
Are you ready for the question? Member from Stowe.
Madam Speaker, I'm rising to talk about the process. And the process really began 4 years ago. And I was somewhat alarmed when the bill was being discussed as to why of the 15,700 and some owners of almost 19,000 current use enrollees.
Member from Heartland, what is your point of order?
Again, the member is getting into the details of the bill rather than the question before the body.
Member from Heartland, I find your point of order well taken. Member from Stowe, just a reminder, your comments need to be very much focused on the process and not the underlying bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, member. Yeah, so the process excluded 99.9% of the current use enrollees. And I think in a democracy, it's disingenuous and disrespectful to exclude the very people who.
Member from Heartland, what is your point of order?
He still seems to be discussing the merits of the bill rather than the question before the body.
Can I see the members at the podium? The House will stand at ease. Will the House please come to order and members kindly take their seats? Member from Heartland, I find your point of order well taken. Member from Stowe, I caution the member again to keep it very focused on the process and not the underlying bill. The floor is yours, member from Stowe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, member from Heartland. Vermonters that have stewarded the land, and there are tens of thousands, as we know, 80% of Vermont's.
Point of order, Madam Speaker, I'm sorry, but.
Member
This is
from
getting to the
Burlington.
substance of the bill rather than the process. If we talk about the substance of the bill, whenever a motion like this is made, then we would be opening the full body to discussion about whatever that motion, whatever the substance, the subject matter of the motion is. And that is against the Mason's rules.
Can I please see members at the podium? The House will stand at ease for a moment. Will the House please come to order and members kindly take their seats? Member from Burlington, I find your point of order well taken. Member from Stowe, I know you are trying hard to keep it focused. Again, please keep your debate, your comments to the question at hand. Member from Stowe.
Madam Speaker, I believe that when we make policy, we should consult and listen to those who will be most impacted by our policies. This process failed to happen, and I believe that it is necessary that we begin by taking this step of bringing H70 to light and start the process that is inclusive of all Vermonters that are impacted. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will be voting yes.
Are you ready for the question? Member from Colchester.
Madam Speaker, the motion before us asks this House to take an extraordinary step of pulling H70 to the floor. Action that I see is premature, unwarranted, and I urge members to vote no. As we've heard, relieving a committee of a bill should be a rare measure, reserved for circumstances that demand urgency. The conditions simply don't demand that action here. Proponents of this motion have not demonstrated to me why the normal course of order should not play out. What has changed since this motion was brought to the body and failed 48 to 86? I'm not aware of any new circumstances that justifies revisiting what this House has already decided. Bringing the identical motion again without changed circumstances in an attempt to relitigate settled question. There's also a timing concern that bears directly on the legislative process. To me, it seems only appropriate that we wait for the work that the committee is expecting and for that to mature before deciding on what action is next. That is not inaction. That is deliberate, fact-based, and responsible legislating. I see no emergency that warrants today's motion. I see no committee failure. I see no circumstances since the motion last failed. What I do see is a bill in the hands of the committee best positioned to evaluate it, and at a moment when patience is warranted. Vote no on this motion is how I'll be voting today.
Are you ready for the question? Member from Milton.
Madam Speaker, this is about the process. Bill H-70 was first read and assigned to the House Committee on Environment last year on January 23rd, 2025, at the beginning of this biennium. There's been ample time for testimony and discussion on this bill. In fact, it has been available for testimony and debate for nearly the entire biennium. Last year, on March 26, just 10 minutes was offered to the bill's sponsor to present it to the committee. Multiple requests were made and witnesses offered for additional testimony, but none was allowed. Having languished for over a year, an attempt to call up this important bill was made on February 5th of 2026 this year. Taking the House by surprise, that motion was defeated. Finally, after significant wrangling on February 27, the Friday before town meeting break, just a week before this year's crossover date, 6 witnesses were given the opportunity to offer detailed and convincing testimony. Good questions were asked and answered, yet no cogent reason was offered for not approving what this bill proposes. However, no vote was taken. Madam Speaker, since that time, there's been an uprising of interest in the concept put forth by this bill from Vermonters all over this state. I think we've all seen it in our inboxes. The lack of attention to this important topic by the assigned committee should not be the reason why this bill fails to move forward. I urge the body to vote yes to call up this bill for action.
Are you ready for the question? Member from Richmond.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I urge the members to join me in voting no on this motion here today. We've already heard clear, rational reasons from the longest-serving member of this body about why this is an inappropriate use of the legislative process. This motion shortcuts a deliberate, transparent, and thoughtful committee process. It is simply not good practice, and it's not how we craft good policy.
Are you ready for the question? Member from Derby.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm going to support relieving House Environment of H70 to bring to the floor. I appreciate the words from the member from Springfield and the member from St. Johnsbury. And I understand that this is a process not to be taken lightly. Many of us have heard from our constituents the urgency to take this bill up. As the member from Colchester stated, he feels it not to be an emergency, but what he feels to be an emergency or not an emergency is different to somebody else. So in respect for my constituents and other constituents of rural Vermont, I urge that we take this bill up. My mentor, the senator from Orleans, Bobby Starr, always told me, don't forget where you're from and don't forget who your constituents are. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Are you ready for the question? Member from West Windsor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have so many bills that I have fought for 6 years. I'm not tired of fighting for them, but I would never think about asking people to just take them up because I feel strongly about them, even because I have constituents and have pressure from all over the state. The committee process allows the rest of us the time to be able to ask our own constituents what they think about the matter that's before the committee. For example, as I have said to many of my own constituents who have reached out to me about this, I fairly faithfully ask our farmers in my district what they think about agriculture bills when they come up. I ask other people in different professions or of varying ideas, I vet bills as I see them coming forward. Circumventing the committee process cuts that out. It forces us to engage in a strictly political process. And I have also explained to my constituents that I don't like being placed in the position of voting based on politics and not on policy. I furthermore wonder whether if this was to go through, if this was voted out unanimously, then what? It gets to the Senate. Is it taken up? Is there time to do the committee process in the Senate, or are we just going to skip that whole process in the Senate too? What are we doing? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Are you ready for the question? Member from Cabot.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I haven't counted the days, but I think it's 2 legislative days ago, we voted unanimously to override not only a committee process, but an entire legislative process that went through every facet of our legislature and even was brought to a veto session and overrode the governor's veto. We voted unanimously 2 days ago, 2 legislative days ago, to undo the process that was supposed to happen on that particular bill. H70 and the motion that we have before us and the process that we're talking about addresses the bill that was the platform to create the bill that we unanimously decided to undo the process on. We verified unanimously that the process didn't work, and we did it because we listened to Vermonters. I'm a yes vote.
Are you ready for the question? Member from Brattleboro.
Madam Speaker, I'm going to vote no on this for the dangerous precedent it would establish. Thank you.
Member from Milton.
Madam Speaker, while I understand the process, after listening to my constituents all weekend, I believe that the process failed our Vermonters, and I will be voting yes.
You ready for the question? Member from Fairfax.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As an HR professional, I have read a lot of employee handbooks. And almost in every employee handbook, there's like this one policy that makes you kind of go, where did this come from? Why is it a policy? What happened to put that there? So going back to School of Rock, I went to Congress, and how is a bill made? What is the process? The process is very clearly, the rule to relieve a committee is very clearly to disallow a small minority, as in a committee, to have total control of an issue. If a bill is stalled, this rule and Mason's rule is there for an avenue forward. That said, today I am one voice of 150, but my one voice is a whole lot more because I have the emails, the calls, the coffees with my constituents. They're asking me to vote yes, so you best believe my vote will be yes.
Member from Putney.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'll be voting no on this. I respect the committee process. I don't always agree because I too have been one of those people who've had bills standing on a wall that didn't get off. But that process is important to me. I'm also listening to my constituents. Overwhelmingly, what I'm hearing from my constituents is about the price of gas at $4.60 a gallon and how the heck are we going to heat our homes?
Member from West Rutland, what is your point of order? Yes.
I think he's off topic. The member's off topic a little bit by mentioning the price of gas.
Member from West Rutland, I find your point of order well taken. Member from Putney, please again keep your comments to the question at hand.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to support the process of the committee, support what I'm hearing from my constituents, and I'll be voting no on this.
Are you ready for the question? Member from Poultney.
Madam Speaker, early on, the member from Springfield talked about the process, and this is an unusual situation, and I think many of us here in this chamber probably feel that this is an unusual situation by the amount of emails that we've received in the last several days. We suspend rules here all the time. Rule 51, which is being called on today, is there for a reason. I believe Rule 51 is there for this exact purpose, that a bill that has squandered on the wall for the better part of 2 years doesn't see the light of day. And I believe that Rule 51 protects the minorities here in this body, of which you have two, and then the independents as well. It protects us from being allowed to call it up here because our voice is not being heard in the small committees, as the member from Fairfax said. So I will be voting yes for all those constituents that have reached out to me and want my voice to project to everyone here that they would like debate and vote on this bill.
Are you ready for the question? Member from Essex Junction.
Madam Speaker, I rise in opposition and urge the body to vote no. On March 11th at 10:05 a.m., the Committee of Jurisdiction took testimony on H70, hearing from witnesses with various viewpoints, with committee discussion after, and with an offer from the chair to take a vote. no vote was moved. As this body knows, the Committee of Jurisdiction then moved to taking several weeks hearing testimony on another policy very important to many Vermonters and to all of us in this building to ensure that that policy could move forward. We are in this building for a short period of time, and we must prioritize all the issues. And we know that work is still happening related to this policy we are discussing now. I urge the body to vote no.
Are you ready for the question? If so, will the clerk please call the roll?
Arsenault, Williston.
2 minutes. Will the House please come to order and members kindly take their seats? Will the House please come to order? I would like to remind members that we are in the middle of a roll call vote. Members and guests are prohibited from using computers, phones, or any type of an electronic device. Please refrain from the passing of notes and conversation during a roll call. And when the clerk calls your name, please answer in a loud and clear voice so the clerk can accurately record your votes. The question is, shall the Committee on Environment be relieved of further consideration of House Bill 70, which is an act relating to the inclusion of use value appraisal land and the conserved land inventory, and that the same be placed on the notice calendar pursuant to House Rule 51. Will the clerk please continue to call the roll?
Austin of Colchester. Bailey of Hyde Park. Bartholomew of Heartland. Bartley of Fairfax. Rebecca of Winooski. Byrong of Vergennes. Bishop of Colchester. Black of Essex. Bloomley of Burlington. Boslin of Westminster. Bosch of Clarendon. Bootenberry City. Boyden of Cambridge. Brady of Williston. Brannigan of Georgia. Brigham of St. Albans Town. Brown of Richmond. Burdett of West Rutland. Burke of Brattleboro.
No.
Burkhardt of South Burlington. Burrows of West Windsor. Bird of Cabot. Campbell of St. Johnsbury. Canfield for Haven. Kerr Duncan of Whitingham. Casey Montpelier. Casey Hubbardton. Chapin and East Montpelier. Charlton and Chester. Christie of Hartford. Chino of Burlington. Coffin of Cavendish. Cole of Hartford. Collin of Cornwall. Cooper of Pownell. Corcoran of Bennington. Critchlow of Colchester. Tamar of Venusburg. Dickinson of St. Albans Town. Dobrovich of Williamstown. Dodge of Essex. Dolan of Essex Junction. Dolgan of St. Johnsbury. Donahue of Northfield. Duke of Burlington. Durfee of Shaftesbury. Eastus of Guilford. Emmons of Springfield. Feltus of Linden. Galfetti of Berrytown. Garifano of Essex. Goldman of Rockingham. Goodnow of Brattleboro. Ghostland of Northfield. Granting of Jericho. Gary Bennington. Reguar of Fairfield. Hango of Berkshire. Harpal Glover. Harvey of Castleton. Hedrick of Burlington. Higley of Lowell. Holcomb of Norwich. Hooper Randolph. Houghton of Essex Junction. Howard of Rutland City. Holland of Rutland Town. Hoyt of Hartford. Hunter of Manchester. James of Manchester. Kosenska of Burke. Keyser of Rutland City. Campbell of Woodstock. Klepner of Burlington. Kornheiser of Brattleboro. Krasnow, South Burlington. Lieber of Morgan. Lally of Shelburne. Malone of South Burlington. Lamont of Morristown.
Yes, with explanation.
LaRush of Franklin. Lipsky of Stowe. Logan of Burlington. Long of Newfane. Long of Milton. Leaders of Lincoln. Luno of St. Albans City. McGuire of Rutland City. Malay of Pittsford. Marcotte of Coventry. Maslin of Thetford. McCann of Montpelier. McCoy of Pulteney. McGill of Bridport. Mickless of Milton. Mahaly of Calais. Minier of South Burlington. Morganell of Milton. Morgan M. of Milton. Morris of Springfield. Morrissey of Bennington. Morrow of Weston. Rowicki of Putney. Nelson of Derby. Nielsen of Brandon. Nigro of Bennington. North of Fierceburg. Noyes of Wolcott. Nugent of South Burlington. O'Brien of Tunbridge. Odie of Burlington. Oliver of Sheldon. Olson of Starksboro. Page of Newport City. Parsons of Newberry. Pezzo of Colchester. Pincinel of Dorset. Pouch of Heinsberg. Powers of Waterford. Priestley of Bradford. Pritchard of Pollitt. Quimby of Linden. Rachelson of Burlington. Sakowitz of Randolph. Shy of Middlebury. Scully of Burlington. Sheldon of Middlebury. Sibylla of Dover. Susie of Berrytown. Southworth of Walden. Squirrel of Underhill. Steady of Milton. Stevens of Waterbury. Stone of Burlington. Sweeney of Shelburne. Taglavia of Corinth. Taylor of Mendon. Tomlinson and Winooski. Torrey Martown. Walker Swanton. Wazoo Zachaberry City. Waters Evans and Charlotte. No. Wells of Brownington.
Yes.
White Waitsfield. No. What Bethel? Winter of Ludlow. Yes. What of Waterbury? No. Yakavonia Morristown. No. Boyden of Cambridge. Christie of Hartford. Chino of Burlington. Donahue of Northfield. Duke of Burlington. Eastis of Guilford. Morrow of Weston. Nielsen of Brandon. O'Brien of Tunbridge. Sabia of Dover. And Wazoo Zachaberry City.
For purpose of explanation, member from Hyde Park.
Madam Speaker, rural Vermonters have been caring for this land for generations, and our farmers understand better than anyone that conservation and working lands go together. Moving H70 forward helps us protect Vermont while also supporting one of the most important parts of our economy.
Member from Berry City.
Madam Speaker, respect the committee process. Easy to say when you control the entire process, a process where you can kill any bill with ease. Imagine if the tables were turned, would the same folks say, respect the process?
Member from St. Albans Town.
Madam Speaker, too often we treat conservation and agriculture like they're separate conversations. But in Vermont, they're deeply connected. The people maintaining the fields, myself included, the forests, and the waterways are helping to preserve the character of the state. Bringing H70 to the floor acknowledges that that partnership helps move us closer to these long-term goals.
Member from Cabot.
Madam Speaker, Vermont's landscape did not stay this way by accident. It has been cared for by generations of farmers and rural landowners who take pride in protecting the land while making a living from it. H70 supports that tradition and helps us move more quickly toward the conservation goals we all share.
Member from Chester.
Madam Speaker, rural communities play an enormous role in Vermont's economic and environmental health, and we are already conserving and making a living on the lands under consideration. H70 recognizes that stewardship matters and conservation works best when local communities are part of the solution. I've been receiving input on this for the entire length of the session, and I'm convinced that the full House should be allowed to weigh in on this important and unanswered question.
Member from Cavendish.
Madam Speaker, I voted yes because this bill reflects something Vermonters already know. Our lands are part of our environmental future. H70 supports conservation goals while recognizing the economic reality of rural Vermont. This yes vote was not just my vote, but the yes vote for the many thousands of Vermonters that have asked for their voices to be heard in this chamber. We talk often about local control. Nothing is closer to local control than trusting those that work their land to be the greatest stewards of the land they, not this body, own.
Member from Morristown.
Madam Speaker, I believe in democracy. Although this process is unorthodox and not the norm, it is allowed. I would hate to see this abused in the future or used in nefarious ways. And although this is not imminent danger, I had hoped that this would be the opportunity to clear the air and state the facts in a way that could calm the false narratives that Vermonters are hearing.
Member from Ferrisburg.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. When we talk about conservation in Vermont, we have to recognize the people that are already doing the work every single day. Farmers, foresters, and rural communities are on the front lines of land stewardship. Releasing H70 would have given this chamber the chance to move those efforts forward in a practical and productive way for Vermonters, not for any political party.
Member from Starksboro.
Madam Speaker, I am informed that the entity and the agency charged with implementing Act 59 intend to include land enrolled in the Use Value Appraisal Program into the Conserved Land Inventory and the Conservation Plan. My constituents and many other Vermonters will understandably hold the entity and the agency accountable for those processes.
Member from Waterbury.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I vote no to support legislative process rather than parliamentary anarchy. The underlying issue is still being considered in a process determined 3 years ago, including a final vote on any proposal. Forcing a deliberation already put aside in the body breaks the already established process and disrespects the work we do on behalf of our constituents.
Member from Waitsfield.
Madam Speaker, may I explain my vote?
You may.
The House Committee on Environment just spent last month carefully updating a land use policy that addressed the concerns of rural Vermonters. They worked diligently and addressed all committee members' concerns to deliver a bill unanimously supported by their committee. Proposals to Vermont's conservation policy require the same thoughtful consideration. A floor amendment defeats this process. Thus, I voted no.
Member from Castleton.
Madam Speaker, may I explain my vote?
You may.
I was proud to vote yes today and look forward to doing so every time this bill is called up in the future. We must listen to Vermonters.
Member from Berkshire.
Madam Speaker, I voted yes to take up this bill because using conserved land in the calculation for current use makes sense. It encourages conservation in a responsible way by allowing Vermonters to make their living in the agriculture and forestry sectors while being good stewards of the land, taking advantage of all the successful conservation programs that our state offers. If we disallow these activities to count towards current use, we risk letting that acreage go fallow to grow up into brush and forcing rural Vermonters to migrate to other states where the regulatory climate is less restrictive. Think about what Vermont would look like without the careful, thoughtful land management practices being used every day. We've built our economy on tourism, and without working farms and sugar bushes, our landscape would not be the marketing tool that we take for granted. I voted yes to keep our working lands in use for generations to come and to keep our beautiful state attractive to tourists and the young families who wish to work it. After hearing from those voices, H70 deserved consideration by the full legislature.
And member from Waterbury.
Madam Speaker, may I explain my vote?
You may.
H70 does not respect the rights of landowners, and I refuse to cast a vote based on a campaign of misinformation. I vote no.
Member from St. Johnsbury.
Madam Speaker, may I explain my vote?
You may.
I vote no. Taking a bill out of committee without a vote of that committee should only be done in the most extraordinary of circumstances. That standard is not met here. The policy questions in H70 should be addressed in the normal process. Short-circuiting the process destroys it.
Members, please listen to the results of your vote. Those voting yes, 58. Those voting no, 80. The nays have it, and you have declined to relieve the Committee on Environment of House Bill 70. Are there any further announcements? Seeing none. Orders of the day. Will the House please come to order? Members, we will begin with Senate Bill 208, which is an act relating to standards for law enforcement identification. Member from Essex Junction.
Madam Speaker, I move that we postpone action on S208 to legislative days.
The member from Essex Junction moves that we postpone action on Senate Bill 208 for 2 legislative days. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have postponed action on Senate Bill 208 until Thursday. Next is Senate Bill 189, which is an act relating to establishing a process for reducing or eliminating hospital services. Please listen to the third reading of the bill.
S-189, an act relating to establishing a process for reducing or eliminating hospital services.
The question is, shall the bill pass in concurrence with proposal of amendment? Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have passed the bill in concurrence with proposal of amendment. Next, we'll take up Senate Bill 212, which is an act relating to potable water supply and wastewater system connections. Member from Ferrisburg.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that we delay action on S212 by 1 legislative day.
The member from Ferrisburg moves that we postpone action on Senate Bill 212 for 1 legislative day. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have postponed action on Senate Bill 212 for 1 legislative day. Up next is Senate Bill 243, which is an act relating to distributing funds to the Vermont Language Justice Project. Member from Essex.
Madam Speaker, I move that we postpone action on S243 1 legislative day.
The member from Essex moves that we postpone action on Senate Bill 243 for 1 legislative day. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have postponed action on Senate Bill 243 until tomorrow. Now we'll turn to House Bill 512, which is an act relating to the regulation of the event ticketing market. The bill passed the Senate in concurrence with a proposal of amendment that is printed in today's calendar. Member from Whitingham.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, H512, an act relating to the regulation of event ticketing, the event ticketing market, was voted out of this body on March 12th. The bill was referred to the Senate Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs. And as you may remember, the bill proposes bans on speculative ticket sales. The bill institutes a 10% ticket, 10% price cap on the resale business and secondary ticket exchanges, unless the venue has a written contract for resale services. The bill also proposes clear and transparent disclosure requirements for secondary ticket exchanges. It bans deceptive URLs and improper use of intellectual property. It defines the price of a ticket as the total price paid or to be paid for the ticket, including taxes, fees, and surcharges. This does not include actual shipping costs. And finally, violations under these provisions would be enforceable under Vermont's existing consumer protection statutes. The Senate committee respectfully reports that it has considered the same and recommends the House recommends that the following instances of amendment to the House, which can be found in today's calendar on 2640, on page 2640. The first proposal of amendment, or first instance of amendment, is the definition of independent venues. This means an event space that derives the majority of its revenues, excluding charitable donations, from ticketed events, and is not the and it is not majority owned by a publicly traded company. And this venue does not operate more than 10 does not operate venues in more than 10 states. This definition captures and covers all venues in Vermont. The second instance of amendment is to change the definition of reseller to mean a business entity engaged in the sale or resale of tickets. A reseller does not include an individual selling a ticket that was purchased for personal use. This aligns with Maine's definition of reseller, and if an individual is reselling a ticket as a business, they would be covered under this definition. The definition of ticket. That means that any form of physical, electronic, or other evidence that grants the processor or the possessor the evidence license to enter a place of entertainment within the state for one or more events at a specified date and time. Adding the words "in the state" ensures that this bill only pertains to Vermont-based venues. The ticket disclosure requirements. A ticket issuer shall include on the face of the ticket a clear and conspicuous manner the total price of the original ticket, not including the shipping costs. Finally, subdivision C, the ticket cap applicability. A ticket reseller shall not sell a ticket or offer a ticket for sale for a price greater than 110% of the price of the original ticket. A secondary ticket exchange shall not authorize the resale on the exchange of a ticket for a price greater than 110% of the face price of the original ticket. With the change in definition of reseller, subdivision C does not apply to individuals unless they are reselling a ticket as a business. Finally, the price cap applies to event spaces with a seating capacity of 3,000 individuals or fewer. The event is to be held at a nonprofit venue that hosts agricultural fairs, exhibitions, multi-day community events, in addition to live performances, or the event is primarily used for collegiate or amateur sports. This ensures that the price cap applies to all venues in Vermont. The ban on speculative tickets changes the word individual to person to ensure that we capture businesses as well as individuals. And finally, the bill places a sunset of July 1st, 2028. Madam Speaker, your Committee on Commerce and Economic Development took a straw poll to concur with the Senate proposal of amendment, and that vote was 11-0-0, and we ask for the body to vote yes on this amendment.
So the question is, shall the House concur in the Senate proposal of amendment? Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have concurred in the Senate proposal of amendment. Up next is House Bill 536, which is an act relating to toxic heavy metals in baby food products. Member from Derby.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that we postpone 536 one legislative day.
The member from Derby moves that we postpone action on House Bill 536 for one legislative day. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have postponed action on House Bill 536 until tomorrow. Next is House Bill 559, which is an act relating to the parole board. The bill passed the Senate in concurrence with a proposal of amendment that is printed in today's calendar. Member from Bennington.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Your House Committee on Corrections and Institutions received a strike-all amendment from the Senate on H 559, an act relating to the parole board. I will review the instances of amendments as they differ from the original passage of H 559 in March. One thing I did learn from the member from Springfield, like I think we all do, is that I do not need to go through all the very minor changes throughout sections 1 through 7. If anyone has any questions, happy to go through that. Very minor language change, but I just want to review all the instances of amendment that the Senate made that are quite substantial. So turning to sections 8 in the calendar, let me double check the page for you all. On page 2649 of today's House calendar, you can follow along starting on section 8. Section 8 amends Title 13, section 5305 to make victim notification through the Department of Corrections an opt-out policy rather than current statute's opt-in directive. Moving on to section 9. Section 9 aligns Title 28, section 502A with Title 13 to give victims the right to opt out of any notification from the Department of Corrections and the parole board. Section 10, further down on page 2650, further gives victims the right under Title 28, Section 507 to testify or submit written testimony to the parole board. It requires the Department of Corrections to notify victims of the parole board's decision as well as conditions for release attached to the eligible parolee's case. Madam Speaker, your Committee on House Corrections and Institutions found the Senate's strike-all amendment favorable on a straw poll of 10-0-1, and we asked the body's support, and I think that was a pretty short floor speech for me.
So the question is, shall the House concur in the Senate proposal of amendment? Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have concurred in the Senate proposal of amendment. Next is House Bill 941, which is an act relating to municipal regulation of agriculture. Member from Shaftesbury.
Madam Speaker, I move that we delay action on H 941 for 2 legislative days.
The member from Shaftesbury moves that we postpone action on House Bill 941 for 2 legislative days. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have postponed action on House Bill 941 until Thursday. Members, that completes the orders of the day. Are there any announcements? Member from Wolcott.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just noticed that the former member from South Burlington is here. If you could join me in welcoming him. Thank you.
Will the former member please rise and be recognized? Are there any further announcements? Member from Essex Junction.
Madam Speaker, House Democrats will caucus for a short period of time. I promise you will get lunch in room 11, 10 minutes after the floor.
Member from Poultney.
Apologies, Madam Speaker, but I'm going to say that House Republicans will not be caucusing.
The member from Burlington.
Madam Speaker, House Progressives will be caucusing in room 44 at noon.
Are there any further announcements? Seeing none, member from Poultney, can you please offer us a motion to adjourn until Wednesday, May 13th at 1 p.m.?
Madam Speaker, I make a motion this body stand in adjournment until Wednesday, May 13th, 2026 at 1 p.m.
You have heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? If so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and this body stands in adjournment until tomorrow at 1 p.m.